we're gonna get down and dirty with this episode.
We're gonna get down and dirty.
Dick is ugly.
Stuck inside this kennel.
Penis of man.
Hey, it's me, Samby. I am here today with Caroline Dunphy, our incredible digital producer.
I started this journey 6 years ago. I've worked for 5 late night shows in that time period. And our story begins at The Daily Show. It was 2016. That's when I first landed. I was like so nervous and so excited. And they pinged me for this run and they're like, we need you to get a 70s porn stash. And I was like, Burt Reynolds or like Ron Jeremy? And right then they're like, you're with it. We're sending you on the weird runs. The run that I've done the most in my career is the dildo run. I've bought over 300 dildos. I have had bags of thousands of dollars worth of dildos. So eventually I worked my way up the ranks, landed at your show. And so my job eventually became that woman's job at The Daily Show, where she would send interns out on prop runs or any runs for any field shoots that we had. We were doing a sketch for the Witch's Halloween shoot.
I recall, yes.
And the first one was the basis of you and a few correspondents around a cauldron boiling dicks. We had to get a bunch of different shapes and sizes and colors. I call over my With It intern, the one that I trust.
Yep.
She's already out on a run. And so I'm stuck with the option to send the nicest woman from Minnesota, shy, like you didn't want to ruin her. And so she comes over to the desk and I was like, all right, you're gonna go on the beloved dildo run. She is looking at me like, what did I sign up for? I'm telling you, you're gonna be fine. Here is $1,000. 2 things to know about dildos. 1, they're incredibly expensive.
They're so expensive.
That's another pink tax right there. And the second thing about dildos is that there's a color catalog. Cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg, those are also spices. Porcelain, fuchsia, violet, pink, rainbow.
The entire color wheel is
Right.
represented in the dildo community.
I go, you need to go to the Pink Pussycat, the Pleasure Chest, Leatherman. If you have any problem at all, just call me. I am the warrior of this run. And she goes on this run and I go, like, we'll see. She was gone for like a full hour. I get a call from her. She goes, they don't have cinnamon. What do I do? I'm like, who's working behind the cash desk? Hand the phone over. I'm like, hey, it's Caroline, that girlie that used to buy like 300 dildos from you. And he goes, Caroline, how's it going? And I was like, we'll just replace it with cardamom, a few more porcelain, send this poor woman on her way home as quick as possible.
This poor intern is like, I came all the way from this place to work on a feminist TV show. And you're like, job number 1, multicolored dildos.
Exactly.
$1,000 cash. Bring back 2 sacks of peni.
Go, you'll be fine. And she literally comes back to the studio and she puts down the bags and she goes, today was a bag of dicks. And I was like, all right, she's with it.
You ladies talking about dildos?
We are talking about
We
dildos.
are talking about dildos.
This is Erin Dougherty, our incredible costume designer. We have known each other for almost 20 years. We worked together at The Daily Show.
Well, I came to talk about dildos.
Okay.
What's your dildo story?
I have a couple, but there's one that maybe you'll remember. One day at The Daily Show, they were like,
We need Jason Jones to come down for rehearsal, and we need to put a cantaloupe on his.
does this ring a bell?
This rings a bell.
Really?
Okay.
Good.
This is my husband, Jason Jones. So your job was to take a real cantaloupe and attach it to Jason's genitals.
Exactly.
So how did you do it?
So some emergency runs to the Rainbow Fantasy, the
Sure.
Pleasure Chest.
The fruit store, because you also have to get a
You
cantaloupe.
can't just have one, you have to have many options.
You're gonna break a lot of cantaloupes in this exercise.
I got a harness from the Leatherman, several different types of dildos, because you don't
Sure.
know what's gonna fit in the cantaloupe.
It's basically Mythbusters, but with dicks.
I'm like, Jason, I'm so worried about this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull it off. He goes, Dougherty, I believe in you. What do you got for me? Cantaloupe went on. It worked. A feat of architecture, structural engineering.
My first piece that I ever did at The Daily Show involved a dildo. I had to go to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The piece was about the TSA and their no-fly list. And so they were like, you're gonna go through security. And I was like, no problem. I went into this little airport with a giant tote bag, no other bag, just a tote bag on my shoulder, just dildos bobbing everywhere. And it went through security. And that was my first piece. And I was like, I feel like I learned something about what is required of me. Embrace the dild.
Embrace the dild, because everyone knows the best comedy comes from dildos and the experiences of buying them.
Has everyone here bought a dildo at some point?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple.
Definitely. Oh yeah, all the time.
Me too.
Even the director.
I'm so sorry, everyone. You have to say it.
We're done.